My name's Rhamat, and I'm a senior on the UF volleyball team. I'm from Maryland, really close to DC, like 15 minutes outside DC. I started playing volleyball in the 10th grade of high school, and I started because I had been playing basketball since 7th grade and was like, oh, I want something new to do, and so that's kind of how I got into it, and it was just honestly kind of to take the pressure off of basketball, and somehow I ended up playing club and doing all these extra things with volleyball, and now I'm here. Well, I think my main reason for UF was just I loved the weather down here, and then location, and the College of Journalism, really good school, and that's kind of the field I'm in, obviously. And then Alex Holston was my club teammate, and so we played together 2 years of club, and she was actually already committed here, and that's kind of how I think Florida saw me. And just knowing that she was here, and the family atmosphere of the team, and how much they care about each other, and how you're making lifelong friends, and the coaching staff was a very big part of it. It means a lot to me, honestly. I think it kind of just gave me my start. It's paved so many pathways for me, to be able to go play professionally and play on the national team, and that's kind of been one of my goals, go big or go home. I really want to make the 2020 Olympic team, so who knows how that's going to happen, if it's going to happen, but I think that by coming here I've gained the tools from our coaches and just life skills as well to help me get to that level. I think just it's just been the team, our atmosphere, and kind of us having this joint goal, and knowing that the loss to Kentucky was a great loss for us. It came at a early point in our season, playing a top team like that. That's a team that we're gonna see again, eventually in the tournament. They're a really good team, so losing to them and being able to find okay, this and this needs to be we need to fix this, we need to be able to do this, and knowing that we're playing that's against a top team, and then being able to go back and play them again and beat them in 3 just kind of speaks to how much we worked hard. It was 18 days in between those 2 matches, and what we kind of fixed, and learning how to grow. What we say in our gym is that we want to be peaking at when we're in the tournament, so we're still on that upward spiral. We're still learning, we're still fixing things. Definitely, we use our losses. You can learn from a loss and you can learn from a win, and we tend to learn more from losses just because it's oh my gosh, we just lost. So I think the FSU loss was something that we kind of stuck to it. We put that on our shoulders. We kept that with us, knowing that this is never gonna happen to us again, regardless. We don't ever want that. That's a terrible feeling, and figuring out okay, what can we do to prevent that? And that's just been our all right, we're not gonna go. If we're gonna lose to a team because they are better than us, not because we gave them a win. For us, it's just our mentality and practices. You practice how you play, and it's going into practice every single day, knowing that this is going to be a Final Four team. We're going. That's our goal. That's the end goal, and we want to win a national championship. It's how you approach it. I think a lot of it's mentality. We have the talent in our gym. It's been proven multiple times. It's just how we're gonna do it and all do it together. Everyone's showing up at the same time and being able to play. Just being a leader on this team, it's kind of just trying to lead by example, going in, being focused and, wanting to be better people and bettering my teammates, It's, not only on the court, it's also off the court, how we're, being, sleep, nutrition, just everyone trying to take care of their own thing. And honestly, our team, they're pretty good at, self-management, so it's not, a really tough job. It would mean a lot, honestly, just being, I think a lot of it's also just for the coaching staff. Mary's been here for so long and still has not won that championship. And as a female coach, to be able to do that would be amazing. And honestly, I feel I owed a lot to Mary Wise, just because she's gotten us to this point. I wouldn't be here without her. That kind of thing. And just being able to do it for her, and I think the whole team is just kind of playing outside of themselves, wanting to do it for someone else, and that just kind of ups our game as well. I think just being recruited. I think Dave Booz was the first one who saw me play, and I was horrible. I was terrible. This is my sophomore year, first time ever playing volleyball, so really bad. But just having being able to talk to Mary, and her is clearly hearing how much she wanted me, and knowing that she obviously cared about her players as people as well, and just coming here and seeing it we not only develop our volleyball skills, but we develop character skills. We talk about our self-confidence, and how you approach the real world, and all the things that we talk about that apply to volleyball also apply to the real world, and it just helps us to be better people. And I've seen those things applied in my life. Honestly, I think it'd be just the fact that I'm a senior, this is it once I'm done, which is so weird and kind of like it's a, I don't know, it's a surreal feeling just like knowing that like, all right, like this is kind of like it. Like once I'm done, I'm done. Like the teams like this don't exist. Like yeah, sure you go play pro, but like your team's never gonna be this close knit. You're never gonna have like this kind of bond with them. Like you might be friends and all that stuff, but like this, like we're in it together. Like everything that happens to us happens to every single person on this team, and that's kind of like the thought behind it. Yeah. And just like think that like being like in the program like now like I've been here for 4 years, so like I've just gotten to know the girls so much better, and like just knowing them and like wanting to fight for them and wanting to be better for them, like being in the gym and just trying to help every single person out, like trying to like leave something before I leave, like like I want you to be able to do this before I'm gone so I can see you do this. Like I love watching Rachel like on the sidelines. Like I lose my mind. I'm like literally proud momming on the sidelines, but like I love doing that. Like I just want to see people do great things. Yeah, it is a pretty big. There's a lot of us. No, there's not really any added pressure. Like I go in every single day thinking like, all right, cool. Like we're here to play blah blah blah. I'm here to do what I love. It's like every single other day like that we come in here, and it's just like I don't want to like I don't ever think like, oh, like in I don't know what it is, like a month I'll be done. Like it's always like, all right, cool. Like today we're in here. Like this is what we're gonna get better at today, and like then tomorrow like the same thing. So not really looking to the future. I think the pressure would be like in a game like, oh, like making the high IQ plays. Like it's kind of like you've been here, you know what you're doing. Like just being able to like basically playing to my ability, which is not something that is out of this world. I'm thinking like, so it's not really a pressure. It's just like a sense of knowing that I have to do this. Like when like if they're giving me the ball, like I have to put it away, and that's the kind of thing. No, it's actually not different at all. I've been doing the same like kind of like role since I think probably around my sophomore year of being here. So it's not anything new, and I just show up. I think my biggest thing is like doing, like if I'm going to tell someone else to do something, I'm going to do it myself. So like leading by example. Like I'm not going to say, hey, you need to, I don't know, squat lower and then not do it myself, Like I'm always there like I'm in it with them. It's great to have like all these people like having our back. Like we have each other's back, like if we're making a decision, like we're all like we're talking about, like we're trying to figure out like is this the best decision, like how we're gonna go about it, and just knowing that like you're not by yourself like having to make these decisions, because like you are like if Mary comes to us for something, like we're making the decision for 18 other people, so it's great to have someone like know that they have my back, and regardless on the court, off the court, regardless of what it is. I honestly I don't care that much about my personal achievements. I like everyone's like, oh, like you All-American this, All-American that, and I'm like, well, honestly, I wouldn't be here without my teammates, because like especially as a middle, like I'm not passing balls, I'm not setting myself, so I like rely on so many other people to help me like be good at what I do. And I think blocking as well, like I'm not setting up the blocks by myself. Like my pin defenders, wing defenders are setting up the blocks, and I'm simply like closing there and doing what I have to do. Like, so I owe it to all my teammates, and it just kind of like I'm like I would not have gotten any of these without you guys. I play for them, absolutely. Like I'm like obviously I want to win, but like I know we want to win, and not everyone can play. So you have 7 starters, and that's who's playing. And knowing that like those people like they're doing it for the people on the bench as well. Like it's not a selfish move, and no one on our team is selfish, which was amazing to see, because that's a rare thing to find like a team sport. Probably like physicality, like just being like so like tall, but like also being able to jump as high as I do. Like attacking wise, I can hit over like going over people is kind of like my preference. Dave would probably say it, that's bad, but whatever. So like yeah, I like hitting over our defenders, and then blocking. Obviously blocking is such a huge part of my game. Like honestly, I'd probably rather block than hit sometimes. But like being so big and being able to take up as much room, but because like the more room I take up, the less the back row has to worry about, and then it makes their job easier. Defense. I just love walking. I don't know. It's just a great feeling to just like go up and like, no, you're not gonna hit this shot. Like I'm taking it away. Yeah. It's like, ooh, roof. Definitely, it's a different vibe for sure. You kind of go in like you're like in here it's, I don't know, it's just a different vibe in its whole like itself. Obviously you have your coaching staff, the same thing, like you have your individual like training sessions with like positions and stuff like that, and then I think just when you're out there, like you're it's a team for sure, absolutely, but like you're kind of like on your own. Like it's your, you should be like you're focused on like getting yourself better as well as like getting other people better, and it's, I don't know, maybe treated more like adult wise, like not as much micromanaging, because like when you're here, like it's like school's involved, so like that's a really big part of it. Like but out there, like there's not, it's not that, like you're literally there for volleyball, which is really great and kind of like something I'm looking forward to when I do go pro, like not having any outside distractions. It's just kind of like going in, playing volleyball, and playing for Karch Karai was amazing. It was a great like experience, and I hope to do so soon. I think the difference between like the collegiate game and national game is the speed of teams. Like the speed of the offense is way faster, and I think one of the things that I brought back this year honestly was that kind of like how like we see the game. Like in like college, like there you have a lot of slower teams, which makes it like playing defense a lot easier, and then going into that gym knowing that like, oh my gosh, like I have to focus on this a lot faster, like watching the setter a lot faster than I do playing someone else. It just kind of like helped you, like, and it helped like getting my IQ like higher and just like being able to do it. Like so like coming back, I'm like, oh, like I see that, I know what you're doing, I'm just gonna go stand here and like be able to block that kind of thing. Oh, I just know that I want to play overseas. I don't know, again, don't know where, with who, but it'll probably be like a start in September, August kind of thing, wherever it is, and play all the way through like April, and then be back in the States in May, hopefully be in the national team gym. I really like docs, so if I could work with documentaries, that'd be great. And again, I love like Marvel and their movies. I just do. So like honestly, like if I, whatever I could get my feet in, you know, if it's working with documentaries, if it's working on narrative films, where like regardless, if it's sports, going into sports production, like I would for sure do that. Like just, I'm pretty open to whatever.